last year, I bumped into a girl at a party. I introduced her to my girlfriend. I was like, hey, you know, babe, look, I went to school with her, and after she got comfortable speaking to my girl, you know, introducing each other, she had expressed that I was a piece of, you know, because I made fun of her. When she would come around, she used to have braces and she had like overlap on her jaw, so I would call it jabber jaw. She had braces, so I would say, hey, all aboard, train's here, because I thought it was funny. You know, I didn't know the damage that I caused. Here it is, 20-something years later, she tells me, and she actually cried when she's expressing this to my girlfriend. So that was bullying to its fullest. I didn't know that I caused that much damage. I just thought at the time I was pushing the attention away from me to make fun of others, to take the focus off of me, you know? I was selfish. I didn't know it at the time, but now that I'm matured, I know what I've done. I see the damage that I caused. 20 years later, this girl's crying to me, telling me, why did I do all that? You know? She was flat-chested, flat in the back, and I'd say, hey, my shirt's wrinkled. Bent over so I could iron my shirt. I was a real jerk, you know? Bullying is serious. There's people who commit suicide over bullying. And, you know, I think of all the damage that I've caused, not just in school with bullying, and when there was a fight, I was pretty much like the referee, because I was a big kid. I knew a lot of people. Not too many people would mess with me, because I had a crew of guys. You know, and I hung out with older kids. So if I had a problem, I'd call them. Nobody really wanted to mess with me, so those who had a problem, they'd come to me and I'd help them out. I did nothing but negative, but at the time I thought it was okay because, you know, everybody's calling me for all these, you know, I had attention. I got the attention I wasn't getting in school, you know. And when I bullied people, or I called them names or joked around, or joked on them, I didn't know the damage I was causing. I just thought that I was, my defects, I was trying to hide my problems instead of getting help, you know. Don't be shy to ask, you know, for help when it comes to like school or any type of, anything that would be educational for you, like this right here. Don't be shy to ask the staff for, you know, utilize what it is they're here for. You know, today I focus on working with teens. I look to someday, you know, get involved and also educate myself in learning more about how to help teens, you know, walk in the right direction, because I'm doing this freestyle really. You know, I know what I want to do. I'm just not educated in doing so. And you know, by doing things like these, activities like this, I believe that I'm gonna progress and make progress in educating myself and helping the teens so they don't want or go through what I've been through. 15 years in prison. I didn't know what it was to be a father. I thought I did. I had money. You know, I put their birthdays, I put money in their pockets. I go to their parties, I give them a hug, a kiss, I love you, happy birthday, I gotta go. Why? Because my phone's ringing. I got customers to take care of. I wasn't a father, you know. Put a couple $100 in their pocket. My son, my daughters, they'd rather have me spend time with them, quality time, maybe even a walk in the park, that's free. An ice cream, that's a couple $, than for me to live or have a dad as I was in the past. They'd rather spend quality time with me. I threw my life away. Away from family members. I isolated myself because when I was high, when I was involved or had drugs or maybe even a gun in the car, I couldn't give my poor mom a ride to Market Basket to go shopping. Why? Because I had stuff in the car. You know, it was all about me. All about me. I was a selfish guy, a selfish individual. I didn't care about anybody else but trying to make that money. Then when I got arrested and I'm facing all this time, who do I cry to?
Your mom.
You know? These are the things that you value or you look at while you're incarcerated, while you're in trouble. That's the only time you think about them. Because now you have it's not your way no more. You need the help. And who do you call? Mom, dad, your brothers and sisters. Those who you neglected while you're in your negative activities. And today, I spend as much time as I can after work with either my kids, my mom, my dad. I'm on the phone with them. I'm grateful. God, I don't even know how to express it. I thank God that I came home earlier, like I did now, that because of the fact that today, if I was still in prison, I wouldn't know how to take it and get that call or, your mom passed away. I've seen that once too many times. That is painful. It's painful even if I'm home, I'm out in the real world and it happens. But when you're in there, it's like 10 times. You can't even pay your respects. You can't be around your family. You're in a cell. That's painful. And when that time comes, I think I'm gonna be a little. I'm sure it's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna be okay with it because I was here. I wasn't in prison. It's 10 times, 10-folds the pain while you're in there, So, if you have friends who live in the negative lifestyle, and you can give them some information, something you picked up from me, from staff, maybe from your own experience to why you're here today, you're looking to help others, give it to them. Let them hear it, explain to them that you care, that, it's just not worth it. Because at the end of the day, you throw your life away, you're in prison, could be murdered by mistake. A lot of them, they say it's by mistake. I met a lot of people in prison who are there for murder. Oh, I was just trying to scare them. Or, you know what I mean? It happens. I've heard the stories. And at the end of the day, there they are in prison for life. You can't take back what you already did. You can't bring that person back to life. You can't, I'm never going to mess with guns. You already did it. You already took a life. It's over with. There's no way to bring them back. And what I'm getting at is these guys are in prison. That's it. They don't have a second chance to come home. These guys are doing life sentences. So I say that because I was facing a life sentence when I got to 22. I pled guilty. And I was scared for dear life. And my biggest worries were mom, dad. I should have thought of it when I was committing crimes, selling drugs, And I pushed my son. My son was having a hard time in school. And I kept pushing him. He's graduating Sunday. I kept telling him, I don't want you to be like me. I need you to be better than me. I want you to be better than me. And you can do it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to understand that the way I lived life, it was, at the time, it was cool. Had the nice cars, had all the money. But when I got caught, all that was gone. And then I have family members who've worked all their lives. They have a house, they have cars. No one could take it from them. They didn't work for, and they didn't get it in a negative way. So it's theirs forever until they sell it, get rid of it, until it dies out, car, house, whatever it is, the situation. They worked for that. As opposed to the way I got stuff, I don't got nothing now. I got nothing to show for. I work $9.50 an hour. But I am at the happiest stage of my life. You know why? Because I worked for it, I earned it. Whatever it is I do with my money, it's my money. I can do that. No one can take that away from me. Not the government, anyone. So I just came to give you a little bit about myself. Like I said, I grew up in a bad neighborhood. My dad wasn't there because he himself went to prison. So my mom was there to raise 6 kids. It was tough. And then here I come and I start going in the wrong direction, causing my mom more heartache and pain. She's already a single parent. You know, so educate yourself. You know, if you finish school, go to the next level. College, do something, so something positive. You know, still today, I look to educate myself, but I gotta work. I gotta pay bills. You know, I have no other ways, no other ways of paying the bills if I look to go to college and educate myself. You know, if I could get a job where I get paid enough and I could do a couple hours of college a week, I would do that. But right now, I can't. Why? I have a GED. I have no trades. And this is all because I threw my life away. I wasted my time on the streets. You know, I could have taken a course in training, maybe construction, maybe plumber, you know, something educational, something that's productive that is used in everyday life. You need a plumber, you need an electrician, you need construction, because, you know, they keep building bridges, keep building houses, you know. I don't have any of that, you know. So I got to deal with what I've got. And today, like I said, I look to help. I look to educate myself. This is the field that I want to be in. I want to help teens. I want to be able to help teens do better with their lives. See, when I was young, I got all these lectures that I'm saying here and sharing, but in one ear and out the other, and here I am today. So I push my son, I push my nieces and nephews. Do better, educate yourself. You know, with that, I gotta go back to work. I just came.
If you had an opportunity to leave these guys with a small message, or one-liner, what would be your message?
Continue doing what you're doing, educate yourself, and push for a brighter future. Do not waste your time. Don't throw your life away.
Take a picture before he leaves,
Yeah.
so he can have it to use for future, like to say, this is a group I spoke with.
And real quick, I have a crew of guys, call it the team. Teach, encourage, and motivate, you know. And it's about drug use, it's about gangs, you know. I have a partner he's a former leader of a gang, and, you know, we share our stories, and we say, listen, it's just not worth it. I was a drug addict, I was a drug dealer, I did a lot of time in prison, and all of it, for what?
Right.
Nothing. It took me away from my family, you know, so.
Do you have cards, business cards of
Yes,
your?
I do.
Because I work at all the middle schools, so perhaps I could see if I could, next year, like, have speaking engagements, we could maybe get a donation to your thing for the middle schools or something if you come in with your team.
Yes.
So if I could take a card, I could maybe help set that up or
Yes, I
something.
have that in the car.
I'll walk out with him and I'll
Can I
grab
ask
it.
a question?
Yeah, go ahead, ask a question. I know he gotta go to work, just let
It's
him
okay,
know.
I got a few minutes. I'm all up for questions.
Okay, I know for a while, when I was getting into vaping and stuff like that, I almost didn't know how to make the transition. Because, I mean, for instance, like, you know, you were into the drug dealing and stuff like that, and then for you to try to do something positive, it's unlike your character, you know what I mean? It's something like that's not what you're used to. Some people are going to look at you funny, they look at you as this tough guy and stuff like that, and then you start doing positive things. And then you start running into those people, like in the streets or whatnot. It's almost like they don't get the transition. And not only that, it's like, how do you deal with it? It's like, oh, let's work on this project or something. And like, oh, I don't do that anymore. You know, how do you come from the bad and almost, what's the word? It's just how do you get out of it, and like how do you transition and almost like get those bad influences away from you, and how do you deal with it when they do come up?
Well, that's a good question. Get a book? Nah. That's a good question. Well, first of all, change is difficult. And when you look to change, everything around you has to change. Friends, old hangouts. I learned to call it unhealthy contracts. You know, if you bond with these individuals and they're in a negative activity, living a negative lifestyle, a criminal lifestyle, drug using, drug dealing, whatever it is they do that you know is bad for you, that's unhealthy contracts. When you bond with these individuals, what they do, you do. Pretty much. Right?
You like the bad apples.
So if you hang out with healthy people, people who look to do good with their life, do, work, have a honest paying job, educating themselves, you do good. It's like they say the rich get richer because they hang around rich people and they challenge themselves to do better. But if you're hanging around with someone who's doing negative, living a negative lifestyle, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do the same. You wanna be above all that, and that is by educating yourself, hanging around positive people, That's the only way you're gonna succeed in that. Me, when I got out, I thought people were gonna judge me. They did at first, but now they see what it is I'm looking to do, And they understand now, hey, listen, this guy got a chance. He was supposed to be in there for another 11 years. And if you hear his story, you'll understand why. You know what? They encourage me to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm no longer a drug dealer. I'm no longer a drug addict. I will always be an addict. I'm just not an active addict. I can see them around and say hi to them. Give them a hug. Hey, how you doing? Oh, my kids are good. Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'm still, working with teens. I don't care what it is they're doing because I already know it's bad. But I'm not gonna sit around and hate on them or mistreat them because I understand that life. It's just they have to understand that I no longer live that life. So I'm not gonna judge them. I know that life. They'll get it someday. Hopefully soon. Ask me a question?
Yeah, you definitely did. You hit every point.
Anybody else, real quick?
I was mom.
No. Explain later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hope that we can do more work
She's
together.
shaking her
As
head
you
a
said,
lot,
like
so
the young people that are here in this room maybe had issues in their lives. Some didn't, some did, some do. But I think sometimes people look and we judge, even if we say we're non-judgmental. We look and say, yeah, what do you know? You're really Ange, what do you know? And so they may think, well, you're above all that. And so it goes in one ear and it goes out the other. But I think when we collaborate and really have the diversity of experiences, not just the faces and cultures and languages, but the diversity of experiences that can be offered to others and younger people, I think people listen in a different way.
Yes.
Or might listen in a different way. And so I think it's good to tell our stories, but I also think it's good to live the life and show the example. And so, the young people that are in this room, including Andy Polanco, being the young guy that he is, are living the life that we want to show other people they can have. And I think the more we can do together, I really welcome that opportunity. I really do. Thank you for sharing.
As long as you, get it in your head and work around it. Change is difficult. There's nothing easy about change. There's nothing easy about this is who I used to be. This is what I used to do. To now, I got a job. I pay taxes. I never did that. 40 years old. I pay taxes. I never ever did that. I never knew what it was to collect taxes. Never ever. I never knew what it was to have a boss tell me what to do. Because I was a boss on the street. I had people out there working, And like I said, today is the hardest thing I have to do. But I deal with it because this is what keeps me outside of prison. This is what keeps me, at any given moment, I can say, Mom, I'm going over. Hey, Dad, I'm going over. I can't do that while I'm in prison. You get a 15-minute phone call. That's it. To tell them what? That you love them? That's a lie. If you did, you're only saying that because you want them to send you $20, $30. Because if you love them, you wouldn't put them through the pain. When you're in prison, you drag, not only are you hurting yourself, not only are you causing damage to your lifestyle or maybe what you desire. Everybody says they want to do this when they get out. Everybody says that. Yeah, everybody says they love mom, they love dad, they love the wife, they love the kids. If you did, you wouldn't put them through the pain. I never not loved my family, but there's a way to show it. And by coming in and out of prison and making the same mistake over and over again and not learning from the mistake, I couldn't prove to them that I loved them because I was still going back to the same thing. Today, I can prove to them that I love them. I can prove to them that what I say I mean. You know, I'm gonna stay out here. I'm gonna be a part of their everyday life. You know, not behind some cell.
And we're gonna work together.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna work together. That's for real. I think you're doing great stuff, and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and you're gonna keep pushing, and all that other nonsense. Don't worry about that. We'll work through all that other stuff. I just want to say I appreciate you. I know a lot of guys that come in and out, and they're always like, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. They come out and they go back to the same thing, and you're true to your word. So I feel honored that you're becoming a part of our team slowly but surely.
I